Okay, what's up YouTube? This is Tien giving you another video. This is going to be a GR114 clear that happened just a little while ago on stream. We're just going to VOD review and kind of step through the rift, and I'll explain kind of what I was doing as the zMonk and what some of the other people were doing as well. This was the product of about 2.5 hours of rift fishing, so to speak, and I'll explain what fishing is in a little bit here. But this was our second day of attempts. We also attempted all day on Sunday as well, which maybe it was like 4 or 5 hours of attempts. So maybe a combined 7 hours of attempts on our 114. You see us putting in the key there. So I want to talk first, I guess, about fishing in general and what does it mean? What are the things we're looking for as a group? Some of the unspoken things that are happening. You know, after playing with a group, you kind of know where you want to stop, what mobs you're looking for, and the types of damage that you're trying to do in order to complete the rift. So. If you want to check out my previous video where I explain the group meta, I talk a lot about the Trash Killer and the Rift Guardian Killer and the role of the zMonk and the zBarb. Again, we're running with the same team here. You can see our Paragon's a little bit higher than the previous video. So, you know, we've leveled up since then, but we've also brought into this rift all of our experience in the past, and that includes fishing for rifts. So if you ever catch my stream live, we do rip rifts right away, and when I say rip, I mean we just restart the rift right away. We know just based on map texture alone whether or not we can create the density that's required for our Witch Doctor. Our Witch Doctor is using a Legacy of Nightmares build, which also revolves around the Barber, and you know, I ask him a lot, you know, what are the things that you're looking for? How can I help you as a monk to help you deal the most amount of damage? So here we set up at, we call them junctions, where this little T section where the Barb is pulling mobs in. You can see him on the mini map kind of running off the map and pulling mobs in, and then the three of us kind of staying put while he pulls mobs in, and I'm casting Cyclone Strike in order to pull them in, and he's casting his Spirit Barrage in order to hit as many enemies as possible and getting the biggest multiplier possible on his Barber, right? So the weapon says the more enemies you hit with Spirit Barrage, the more damage it does. Here we hit a Speed Pylon, and Speed Pylon's actually not one of the best pylons. His build does use attack speed though, so it is favorable. So yeah, this beginning part of the rift, you can see that we're beating progression by a little bit. We've identified this map called Battlefields as a positive map, and the Speed Pylon's helping us kind of, I guess, deal with some of this density. We don't like the fact that it's an illusionist mob. Illusionist doesn't give us any progression towards our goal unless you can actually kill the elite itself to get the purple orbs. It's very rare that you kill elites at this greater rift level because they have such high amounts of health. I think you can see it there. It has like maybe 1 quadrillion health or something like that. So it's a lot of health, and we lose density because of that Spirit Barrage mechanic that I was talking about earlier. So you know, we're dealing damage in that area, kind of DPSing all the mobs down. You'll see it here with all these swarms and spiders. We're going to kill the swarms and spiders, and we're not going to kill the yellow or deal any kind of significant damage to the yellow mob, you know, for a variety of reasons. It's sitting on the outside, it's a ranged mob, it likes to move away. It also is illusionist, so you know, it's hard to get it pinned down. When it starts to take damage, it'll split apart, and you'll see us skip that quite a bit. Here I actually don't like our decision to stay at the corner that much. This is a lot of fake density. Looks like our Barb is actually a very good Barb. He knows when to move. He's kind of that, I talk about it in the other video, but he's that rift director telling us, okay, you guys got to set up here, time to skip that, don't explore this area yet, we're trying to get a pylon. So those are the things that the Barb's doing. But again, here's a great, those swarms give a lot of percent. Those spiders are nice and small, so they can get hit by Spirit Barrage, generating a lot of progression. And this yellow's kind of followed us the entire time here, which is not great, but it's also not bad. And we're slowly like whittling it down and dragging along with us in case we find a conduit pylon. Spoilers, we don't actually get a conduit pylon this entire rift, which I think makes the 114 clear that much more impressive. The next map we get is Festering Woods, and this is maybe the best map in this current patch. I think it always has very, very good density, and has multiple pylon spawn locations, and it has multiple junctions where the barb can pull from multiple directions. So what we do is we set up at the first available junction. We don't want to set up like right in front of the door, for example, and we're pulling mobs in from every direction, and we notice there's grotesques. The grotesques are great for a couple reasons. One, they give a lot of progression. Two, when they die, they spawn these little I want to call them like snakes or something like that like spawn out of their stomachs, and those snakes are good for a couple reasons. They give the witch doctor more enemies to hit, and they also like spread out and surround you to create kind of more density to kill maybe elites that are left over, or more grotesques that happen to be left over. You can see here I'm actually playing without the monster health bars turned on, and that's because I want to look specifically at my witch doctor's health bar. These grotesques, when they explode, they deal a lot of damage, a lot of burst damage. I've actually switched my build from the previous video you saw. I'm using a mantra now called Mantra of Healing. I believe it's called Time of Need. And Time of Need creates a shield for my team, and also when his health gets, for the entire team, when your health drops below a certain percentage, you become even more tanky. This coupled with my Cyclone Strike, I'm using a larger range Cyclone Strike here. I no longer need the healing from Soothing Breeze, and so I still use the Epiphany that heals, but I'm casting Cyclone Strike a lot less to basically allow my strong arms to get maximum amounts of value. So I don't want to be spamming Cyclone Strike for heals anymore. I'm actually just casting Cyclone Strikes like one every 5 seconds or so to keep my shoulder buff up for damage reduction, but then also to get the most amount of time that the mobs have strong arm bracers applied. So with that, that's basically the two changes in the build. I believe one of the passes actually I take off CC Initiative and I put on Harmony. I'll link the latest link to the build in the comments. So here we're I remember the calls here. We were saying it's a little too hot. When we say hot in chat, that typically means there's too many affixes. So you can see that it's very elite dense with a lot of blue mobs, with fire chains, all those ground affixes. You see plagued on the ground. It's kind of hard to see what's going on actually if you don't play the game, or it's very confusing, right? Like it's just you're surrounded by mobs. So much stuff is going off. There's orbiters, electrifieds, thunderstorms, frozens, plagued mortars, desecrators, and fire chains all happening at the same time. But the combination of damage reduction that I'm giving the team there. So there I check the map. You see me press tab, and we're checking for pylon locations at this time. So here we're saying in chat, we're like, okay, we need to get these 2 blue mobs down. If we kill these blue mobs, then we have a chance to spawn a pylon up ahead. And for those of you who don't know, for every 1% of progression you get 3% chance to find a pylon. I think that's kind of a rule of thumb. So we know the last time we had a pylon, which was at around 33%, and we're saying, okay, if we can get to 66, we have a guaranteed pylon spawn. And so sure enough, after we kill the blue here and we get the progression, we're going to move up and we're going to get our second pylon of the rift, and you guys will see what that one is. Again, we're just maintaining density, getting those purple orbs, and now I think it's time to move. Yeah, it's time to move. And with all those elites there, we really, really want Conduit, but we didn't get it. We got Channeling, but then we see a power right next to it, just kind of a random chance to get that power. and we're excited. We know that this is potentially a good attempt right here. So we're ahead by about 2 minutes at this point, with about 2.5 minutes to go. And we know that our Demon Hunter maybe needs about 4 minutes normally to kill a Rift Guardian at this level. And that just comes from experience, like all those rifts those failed attempts. The average boss, if it doesn't summon ads and we get a good boss spawn, takes him about 4 minutes to kill. So right at this point, we're like pretty excited that we get a power. We're like, okay, there was a low health blue mob back there. We bring it back up. The barb pulls it back up. We kill that mob. We're pulling in more and more density here. It's again very dense with those grotesque mobs that are helping our progression quite a bit. And we're like, okay, let's spawn the boss on this level and save the power pylon and have our witch doctor hit it later when it's time to kill the boss, right? So after we've stacked in our Bane of the Stricken stacks on the boss, then we're gonna hit the power and get to that point. Up until this point, though, it's been a pretty clean rift. Our Witch Doctor actually doesn't die the entire rift, and as a monk, that's my number one job during the rift is to keep him alive. So I feel like I did a pretty good job there. And I think our Demon Hunter maybe only had one death in the beginning, if at all. I actually don't remember. But yeah, we stay alive. It was a fairly clean rift as far as that was concerned. There was a moment where it was like too hot, like I said before, with the fire chains and all those affixes. We're at 99% here, and just need to kill anything in this pack, and then it's time for a boss spawn. And we're all holding our breath because if it's Perendi or if it's a boss that summons ads or something like that, it could be really bad. We get Infernal Mated, which is fantastic. We have about 4 minutes left. I actually probably didn't even need the Power Pylon, but the Power Pylon gives us a nice little security blanket. And let's see if we can see the health here. I think if you notice, there's a 7.3 quadrillion health on this Rift Guardian. It's quite a lot. It takes a lot of time for us to kill him. In the very beginning, now my focus as the zMonk is no longer trying to keep up the Witch Doctor. Our Witch Doctor actually just runs to the next level, doesn't care to be there, doesn't want to get teleport hit or anything like that. And he hasn't died the whole rift, so he wants to save all his gem level ups. This is the highest rift for all of us this season, and so we give it a good shot here. I'm constantly spamming my abilities, trying to cast Inner Sanctuary. I'm actually making a mistake by casting Blind here. I think I should stop doing that at some point. Maybe I catch myself. Yeah, I think I stopped casting Blind. But there's only a couple abilities that this boss has that I think can kill our Demon Hunter. There's one where she spins around and shoots fire, and if one of those fireballs drops on our Demon Hunter's head, and the Demon Hunter doesn't happen to have Inner Sanctuary, then the Demon Hunter can die. But other than that, I think it's a pretty tame boss. We're all very happy that we got this boss. It's not Ember, it's not Perendi, it's not Hamlin, or there's a variety of really bad bosses that we could have got. But for a 114 attempt, we got kind of the Dream Rift. We had the Battlefields map. We then got the Festering Woods, and the Witch Doctor, who's actually on the third level, is like, wow, we got Festering Woods again. And he's real proud of himself because he's the one that opened up, he put the key in, and we're all superstitious and think whoever put the key in, it's their fault if the rift is good or not. It's just an extra way for us to kind of kill the monotony of fishing for these rifts. We had try all these different things. This game's like half mental and half mechanics here. So we have about 66% left on the boss, and we're actually talking in chat right now. It's like, do we want to go for a leaderboard clear, or do we want to just make sure we get the clear? And what I mean by that is, like, do we hit the power maybe a little bit early to try and get a better time, or do we play it conservative and just hit it in the last 30 seconds of the boss? And I'm like, you know what, let's just hit it. Just hit the pylon. Get out here and hit it. And that's because I just want a better time. So if you guys don't know, the way the leaderboards work is you guys all compete on different Greater Rift levels, but if you guys have both cleared, say 2 different teams have both cleared a 114, the team that cleared it faster will be placed higher on the leaderboard. And so that's why I kind of want to push, just to I don't get to push progression very often, and you know, if we're gonna go for it, we might as well just go for it all. So we hit the power pylon here. The witch doctor's risking his gem level ups by shooting. You know, he's actually behind a tree or something. But we clear it. We get rank 212 at the time, which is really good if you divide by 4. You know, it's 4 people per team or whatever, so that's pretty high on the leaderboard. We're like maybe the top 50 team or something like that, close to that. Get our loot and get our clear for the time. That's our highest clear ever in any season. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.